All right, we're testing more gas at Murphy's for 15% ethanol.
My conspiracy theory is that Michael Jackson's song Thriller was actually about crack.
Oh, that is a cheesy little baby.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it.
You know, learning how everything's satanic in this world. Somebody, tell me what this symbol represents.
Theo Von would never do anything to himself. Remember, a few months ago I said, watch Theo Von. Do you hear what he just said tonight? A lot of things that a lot of powers really would not like.
And I'm sick of rich people not putting their kids over in these wars and shit like that. Put your honky ass kids up there. Let them go shed some blood. Especially if you're asking for it. Especially if you're out there bullshit, dude. Put your honky little fancy ass kid up there, man. That makes me mad, bro.
But that's not all. He also said this.
Our government does not, obviously, is not here to help the people. Obviously. They've been compromised. That's true. So, are there any rules against when people, but the crazy part is we are working to pay the taxes to keep them doing, it's like, I know. And that starts to make you feel sick.
And they got us.
All of this while all these random firings are going on, right? And then one more thing, but just make sure that you keep your eyes on them. Powerful organizations pay billions of dollars to keep these things from being said. All these people go missing and no one says a word.
It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, yeah. But it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. All of our money goes to Israel.
What do you think? Do you agree with Theo right here? One thing is sure, it's getting dangerous.
Jimi Hendrix faked his own death in the 70s and has come back, drumroll please, it says here, researchers claim, as Morgan Freeman. They look a bit identical.
Yeah, they actually, there's a broad nose there. I can see it.
They actually look very, very similar. Look at Ryan. He's frightened by this information.
Jimi Hendrix's voice was not Morgan Freeman's voice.
Well, if you're going to fake your own death, you'd come back maybe with some different vocal cords.
Well, you come back and suddenly you...
Look, his teeth are different. His teeth are a bit different.
Yeah, but everyone's got different choppers now.
But also, you'd have to try and look a bit different. You can't come back and look exactly the same. What's the point?
Machu Picchu. Help me understand why this is so miraculous.
Looking at Machu Picchu in real life is better and more imposing than this photo right here. It gives you a sense of the sheer scale of this civilization and how powerful they really were to be centered in Cusco. You take this taxi ride 3 hours out to Ollantaytambo, then you reach the Amazon, and just looking around, you're like, this whole area was conquered by this one ancient civilization. Like, you can see how they were feeding millions and millions of people. You get the mountain.
Shit.
So
it's the sheer scale of the city at this altitude.
It's the scale of the city at the altitude, how treacherous the actual mountainside is, that it was clearly made to be a defended and beautiful but protected fortress. And some of the architecture there is only rivaled in Egypt.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A lot of the architecture in Peru, in the Inca realm, is vastly superior to most of ancient Egypt.
Okay, this is Men in Black. This was obviously hidden in plain sight. So look right here. You're going to see a plane. That's a plane. There's the Twin Towers.
In the exact same spot. 2 smokestacks. You cannot tell me that's coincidence.
Yeah.
What do you think the man does that
come
lives
out
in
one
that
day.
house right there? What do you think he does for a living? What could a man do to own such a lavish mansion? You would think he'd be the president of the United States or something. That looks like a house
property
Trump
tax free.
would own. That, my friends, is a preacher's house. Yeah, it's a great scam, isn't it? Louisiana, you need to tax Jesse Duplantis.
Even hearing...
Like, that's just so crazy that people would see a preacher living in that house and continue when that basket comes around to fill it up. Like, it's just, you got to put 2 and 2 together. Like, where's this money going? Right? Where's this money going? It's a damn shame, y'all.
Because, bro, the
Abuse
Aztecs,
their power.
they say that the Pyramid of Cholula was built by giants. Like this extremely prideful civilization, a civilization that would not just give, credit to anyone. They say, hey, our greatest accomplishment, the biggest pyramid in the world, the Pyramid of Cholula, was built by giants, by 7 giants who came after a flood. That's the story. You know what I mean? And it's like you have all these stories all around the world, and it's like, how? Like science just throws that away. It's like, how?
My conspiracy theory is that Michael Jackson's song Thriller was actually about crack. Because if you really dissect it and you listen to the lyrics, like, it's close to midnight and it's something evil lurking in the dark. The evil which was lurking in the dark were the crackheads. Those dance moves were the gyrations and movements of crackheads. Even though crack was not out when Thriller came out in 1983. It was like Quincy Jones wrote that song. He was forewarning us about the evils to come with crack cocaine.
At the end, when she goes, "Oh, it was a bad dream," and he looks into the camera, that's a crackhead.
That's a crackhead.
Wow.
That's
His eyes are yellow?
That's a crackhead who has not fully been exposed.
This is the weirdest shit you ever seen. You about to see niggas like this every day, y'all.
No one can save you from the beast with 40 eyes.
Some shit a crackhead would say.
Then that white guy comes out and he's saying what's going to happen. Darkness falls across the land.
And it's hopeless.
Your body starts to shiver.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're talking about crack.
All right.
I mean, and we know that it was government made. We know they made that in the lab at UCLA, right? In LA. So, that doesn't really seem like a conspiracy. It just seems like just like that Bad Boys World Trade Center thing. They got to let it out.
Tested more gas at Murphy's for 15% ethanol. I know it seems like I'm always picking on them, but out of all 4 platforms that I'm on, YT, IG, TT, and FB, you guys almost unanimously said I need to check out Murphy's at Walmart. Let me know where else you want me to check. All right, we're checking to make sure that there is no more than 10% ethanol in this gas. Each of these should be definitely under 10%. First, let's make sure we're getting what we should be getting. .32 ounces, we should be under 0.250. I went over just a tad, but they definitely made it, so they're within lines. We're not getting ripped off at the pump. All right, water fill line, gas fill line. Let's give it a 5-minute shake here. I've heard the government has authorized 15% ethanol to be in the gas at gas stations. Have you? So they're watering it down with corn, so it's going to be less per gallon, but it's going to be less efficient. So what is that doing? Also, it's going to burn hotter in the summer. That's not good for cars. They say it might be coming in May, and if it does, it's going to have some sort of signage on here because it'll kill small engines like lawn equipment, boats, generators, even your motorcycle. And it's been 5 minutes, and they're on. We'll definitely be back in May.
Let's start with the most recent case of this. This is James Jimmy Gracie. He was a 20-year-old college student from the University of Alabama. We all saw this in the news.
Tragic discovery in the search for a missing American college student who disappeared on spring break in Barcelona. A body now found 13 feet down in the water.
2 days after University of Alabama student James Jimmy Grace disappeared after a night out, police were covering his body from the water. 13 feet deep and just steps off the beach where he went missing.
Well-loved, went missing for a bit. He was in Barcelona visiting friends who were studying there, and they went out to like a beachfront nightclub in an area where there's like a lot of different kind of restaurants and clubs to go to called Port Olympic. And this is where the detail kind of matters. This nightlife strip was directly next to open water, rock breakwaters, unprotected edges in places, and then it was like a dimly lit pedestrian path.
Burger of the day is the child molest. It comes with candy. Get it?
Yes.
No.
Because sometimes they use candy to lure their victims.
Yes, we get it.
Oh.
There's a rumor you make your burgers with human remains from the crematorium next door.
I wonder how a rumor like that gets started.
It's made with human remains from the crematorium next door.
Human flesh, right this way.
Hi.
It's not just films that they leave things hidden. If anything, you can probably get away with more things in cartoons because people will say, oh, it's just a cartoon. Whether this cartoon's for adults or not, what a strange thing to put in it. It's not funny at all. I'm sure you've all heard of Rick and Morty. Well, just look at Dan Harmon and a comedy sketch that he did involving a baby. This is the mind of these people that direct these types of things. Just look at that and it'll tell you everything you need to know if this is just comedy.
There's a lot of weird shit going on. There was that one guy who was the decoy. The moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings, and then he did this. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child right away. Now there's video footage from behind.
Is that right?
Yeah. The round that he was supposedly shot with was a 30-06, which is a big round. That's a round that you kill a moose with. And it doesn't even have an exit wound. It makes zero sense.
Do you think it's a coincidence that the mayor of New York is an East Indian? And the director of the FBI is an East Indian? And the wife of the current vice president is an East Indian? And the last vice president was an East Indian? Art, you've never seen that many East Indians ever in American history occupy positions of influence and authority like you see in those 4 offices. You've never seen this before. And what I believe, Art, is that the white power structure is recruiting the East Indian immigrants and East Indian Americans to be the new priority minority. They're going to use them in America the same way the British used them in Uganda, the same way the British and the French and the Dutch used them in the Caribbean islands. When you go to the Caribbean, Art, the East Indians are a buffer group between the blacks and the former colonizers. When you go to Africa, the East Indians are a buffer group between the blacks and the former colonizers. And guess what they're about to do in America? Under Kamala Harris's administration, under Mayor Mamdani's administration, they're going to be a buffer group between blacks in the power structure. History is repeating itself. Global black history is repeating itself in America, Art. But because we don't study global black history, because most of us are not Pan-Africanists, we don't even see the writing on the wall. We don't even see that America is about to use East Indians to replace and control black people. You see it in New York City right now, and you're going to see it if Kamala Harris gets elected. And why? Because America cannot afford for India to get any closer to Russia and China than she already is, being a part of the BRICS Federation.
Yo, I'm starting to realize the people that like went to college and all of that and basically were force-fed this narrative, they're the hardest people to get through to when you awaken. It's like whatever they were taught, it makes them stuck in a low vibration. So when you're in a higher vibration speaking to them, they're like, you're crazy. And it's like nothing you say, no matter how many supporting details, no matter how many footnotes, no matter how many motherfucking screenshots, and they don't care. You will not shatter their reality. They are stuck in the matrix. And that's what I'm realizing. Oh, they want a bunch of fools with degrees running around so that the darkness has the freedom to operate, but everybody with this degree in their head, they think, I'm so smart, nothing can touch me. Whole time they being fucking used. They don't even know they operating through life in the darkness. Oh man, it's pathetic.
I done been with rappers. How do you cope? I done been with rappers when the little white dude come in with the suit and want to talk.
Yes.
And I seen guys who was lit. They didn't take the deal. They was never platinum again. Well, no more tours. Because I'm used to being on the road 22 nights in a row. I was with some certain rappers. They didn't take the deal when the white dude came in with the suit. And they was never on tour no more. They wasn't platinum no more ever again. So niggas can say whatever they want to say, but I seen it.
And that's your one-hit wonders. That's your people that, fell off and social media makes fun of them, so the masses start making fun of them because that's all they see on their timelines. But really, those are the true heroes. Those are the ones that saw it and stood on what they believe in and said, I'm not going that route. I'm not going through that door." But yet society bashes that. The powers that be put out the algorithm to bash that. So the masses start bashing that and start like, "Oh, you play him, you listen to him, right?" I used to deal with it, not knowing that they fell off like that. They didn't sign that paper. This was a long time ago, but if I like somebody and then they fall off, I'm still gonna like them, right? I'm not gonna be a follower and be like, "Oh, he fell off, nobody likes him, so I'm not gonna like him," right? I've never been that type of person.
So the CEO of America's largest public healthcare system recently came out and said that he is ready to replace radiologists today with artificial intelligence. This is a crazy statement. This has some pretty severe, this will have some severe downstream effects for radiologists and medical students considering applying to radiology residency in the future. Now, we've seen this coming for quite a long time, but these are the first steps. Now, this CEO said that the only thing preventing him from replacing his radiologists today are the laws that are on the books, essentially, and they'll have to go through like the legislative process to make it legal to replace the radiologists with artificial intelligence and AI. When choosing careers, guys, that's what we say. All these kids that talk to me, they ask, is anesthesia AI safe? I don't think that any career is ultimately AI safe, but anesthesia is safer because of the procedures we do. But eventually, every job will be replaced by AI. Save your money, guys, invest, and try to pick a job where you'll be as protected as possible in the future.
If children don't grow up
Look at this, y'all.
knowing about nature and appreciating it,
All that kid's got to
they
do
will
is
not
jerk back,
understand it.
which they do.
And if they don't understand it, they won't
crazy.
protect.
Kids be-
There's 200 meteor craters that have left ginormous massive holes on the planet. There's no skid marks or anything. It's like it came straight down. What? In the book of Enoch, how many angels were cast down from heaven? 200. Who's to say they didn't come down in a crazy way? And then the rendezvous point is Mount Hermon. That's nuts. A lot of these stories all across the world are these balls of fire, gods of fire came down, and that's what left those craters. Isn't that crazy?
Goodness.
But there's the story of this ancient Native American tribe in New Mexico, and one kid who had a large scar across his face. He's probably 7 or 8 years old, and he runs to this crater. They spend days looking for this kid. He comes back a couple days later, 30 years old. That's wild.
There's been a bunch of reports coming out of Texas about a bunch of disaster relief, Walmart trucks, tents set up in parking lots, and a bunch of signs on the highway saying that they're doing disaster relief drills. And look at all the comments. A bunch of people that live in Texas are saying that they're seeing the same thing. San Antonio, Dallas. So what could they be preparing for? Really going on outside, y'all. If you're seeing signs like this and you live in Texas, drop a comment below. Let us know it's real. Let us know what's going on out there. What the hell is going on in Texas?
I haven't been dealing with that.
Disaster relief.
Eating a big bowl of sugar.
Talk about the power lines. I mean, a lot of people theorize that may have played into something mental with him doing that. How crazy is that?
Listen, and I'm not even being funny when I say this. This is why I'm bringing this up. It really did mess with your head. I mean, because it's constant. It's just nobody's supposed to live that close to power lines, I don't think. Yeah. To be completely honest, like I said, I was in Nathan's room, and every once in a while I would feel like somebody was outside my window or something. But is it because the house, I knew what happened in the house? You know what I mean? I was freaking myself out. Was it the Ouija board? Was it? I don't know. I'd like to know myself.
I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear
the electricity on that.
Those are real power lines.
Just to be certain.
We used
I
to
swear I
have
can
local
hear
power lines. That's a real one.
the electricity on this power pole.
You think it might be a little rigged nowadays?
Oh, I know it is. That's why, bro, once I got into the higher private sector world doing security, I was shown certain things and certain information. I haven't watched a basketball game or NFL game or nothing in probably about 7-8 years, bro. So let's take it back. You remember Tim Donaghy? The referee who got locked up?
I know you talking about.
Okay. Remember when James Harden had that legendary run where you couldn't even touch him without a foul? And then the very next year after that was over, then he couldn't get no foul calls? And he was snapping like, what's going on? What does that tell you, DJU? So, I've been in the family and friends room. You see what I'm saying? In the locker room. You feel me? I've had several courtside seat tickets. Never took them because I don't care. I don't want to be. Call me when it's dangerous. Especially I don't want to watch no WWE fakes.
The white boys.
I mean, just yesterday, y'all, that Final Four, I watched a little bit of it, U of A, right? And it's so easy. Like their star player was in foul trouble first quarter. He was out. He was out the whole first half. Started the second half, got his fourth foul like that. Right? That's the nucleus of the team, right? Like he's out the game the whole game. It's so easy to rig it. Especially basketball. You just put the star player in foul trouble and no one can say nothing, ticky-tack little fouls in such a big game like that. And that was the outcome of the game. They got whooped, right? Their helper players couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do missing everything, turnovers, right? Their star player, their leader was out the game the whole game.
Over basketball.
I predicted this a couple years ago. It's going to be the Euro and the White League. Outside of LeBron James, Steph Curry, maybe KD, a lot of our superstar guys, they come with a lot of baggage, myself included. They come with a whole country behind them. Thinking about the advertising dollars that Luka is creating, being the top of the league. Why would we get that kid from the hood that the black community is not really going to promote and push anyway? They're going to be divided on talking about him and disrespecting him. Instead of a kid from Venezuela or any other country, Mexico, they're going to get an entire country that supports them. We don't support each other.
Then we're talking about the Nephilim.
Oh, shit.
We're talking about, the fallen angels.
Oh, shit. Break it down. Break it down.
Giants.
Break it down.
So here's the thing. This is why I think that they keep basketball players, football players, all the people who are like, tall.
Mm-hmm.
These people are supposed to be like the protectors of Earth, but they keep them preoccupied with contracts, basketball contracts, play this sport, play that sport. They created sports to keep the defenders
so they don't take over. Because that'd be some spooky shit.
Right. So they're from those, I guess fallen angels, you want to call them, the giants and whatnot.
Right.
That, mix with, human DNA. So if you think about it, why do you think that we have the NBA, the NFL, all these sports to keep these people preoccupied?
Keep them drifting.
Big bastards.
Keep them drifting.
When they do the symbol, because a lot of in the media, I don't know if they're still doing that today in the land of the living, but I know what I experienced when I went down there. They call themselves the elites, and what it means is the elites of like the satanic kingdom, and they do this thing with the all-seeing eye. As you notice, in the past I had that all-seeing eye too, because I had to become one of them in order to come back and expose them, you see. So this wickedness, and for a while they're trying to keep me silent, but I'm like, wait a minute. Satan's a liar because he just wants me to be silent, because we keep living in today's world, in the land of the living, and there's no justice anywhere. Like, where's the God of justice, right? It's because I kept silent all these years, but I'm not going to keep silent no more. But what goes on down there in Hollywood, I don't know if it's still going on today, because I don't want to accuse nobody. But what I saw, I pray that everybody out there repents, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. In these sex rings, and they even have their own churches, but they're very satanic churches, and they do abominations. They sodomize each other. I'm not going to get into details because it's so traumatizing to what I saw and experienced down there. But, the more power you have, the more fame you get, the more depraved things you have to do. So I don't know if they still do that today, like I said, but God our Father knows, God in heaven knows, the cloud of witnesses knows. So I pray, Heavenly Father, that if these things still go on out there, all of the world, all these elites, whatever they're trying to do like this, to be quiet, that you will bring exposure to them and bring swift justice to because they often, they were even, they're asking me like, can we go even like lower, meaning like, can we have with a. And it was just so disgusting, guys. This is why I'm so traumatized, because like, oh, I can't believe, it's very traumatizing. I can't even talk about it because it's so nasty. But, in the Illuminati world, Hollywood, if you're still doing that today, I pray that, Lord Jesus Christ, Heavenly Father, that you apprehend these criminals and bring them to justice, the ones who, even in the government realm, the government officials, but I don't know about the land of the living, but I'm going to have to testify anyways, because this is what I saw. It's like this huge, massive worldwide elites. They call themselves, and they sacrifice. It's just nasty, guys. I can't even. But anyways, I gotta testify this so that there's truth and justice to be had in the land.
Professor didn't say one name. She knows these names. Obviously, she was in the room and seen what was going on, probably participating in it. But she's seen these things. She's seen these people. She's not saying the names, y'all. Because if she'd said, they probably want her to talk like this. The people that come out and talk like that, because all they do, they'll just show her out in public, acting a fool, drunk, crazy, right? So that the regular people see that and they're like, man, she's just crazy. It makes people believe like that's not true. She's just crazy, right? So they probably want that. But until they start dropping names, and if she does, they're going to offer. So, whatever, right? But she obviously knows what was going on. She was obviously in the rooms when this was going on. So she ain't really saying nothing. She's not saying nothing. She's probably doing more harm than good, because the powers that be, the people that were in those rooms, they just got to put out an article, make it go viral on TikTok that she's crazy and, silences everything she says right there.
I had never heard of Professor Jang until about 3 weeks ago. So I started watching his podcast and his content. This guy is very, very bright, very insightful. And I would recommend that people check him out. I think he speaks a lot of truth, and I'm liking the stuff so far.
I put a lot of his content on.
Gandalf the Wise, thank you so much for the 500. I'm not sure what ARS stands for. Oh, Argentine Reals, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Hey, John, have you ever been to Argentina? Tell me a story related to Argentina. Love your channel. I spent my second honeymoon in Argentina. I was there for 3 weeks, and oh my God, did I fall in love with the place. Where do you even begin? We started off in Buenos Aires. And if you had just dropped me in the center of Buenos Aires and said, look around you and tell me where you think you are, I would have looked around and I would have said, Italy, maybe France.
Productions are worse than they used to be. Productions are worse than because now it's about productions keeping all the money. Back in the day, you were making so much money. Now it's like the producers and most of them are out all for themselves now. It's all about how much they make money for themselves. Back in the day, you can get paid, and now it's like I make less on some shows, Family Business. Family Business is creative. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I make less on Family Business than I made on season 6 than I made the first season on Tour of Duty in 1987.
Wow. And that's what I'm noticing, that they're not like, now everybody's penny pinching.
Everybody. All the money, yeah. That's why people are so
downfall.
So that's why we're doing what we're doing with Conquer the Red. Because so many people are now, they trying to hoard it all. And instead of sharing, they try to keep as much as they can and give you as less as they have to give you. That's why it's turning to people starting to create, develop, and put out their own thing. They're causing their own demises. So
that's why I said it's their downfall, y'all. All these Vegas, restaurants, music production, all that. Even people on YouTube, right? I've reached out to countless people. They comment on it. They react to everyone's comment, but that one to saying, what can I use to get started, right? I try to let you guys. There's There's too much. There's too much people out there. I don't need everybody watching me, right? Like, get on, try it. You know what I mean? I always help people out, but greed is gonna be these people's downfall. It's gonna be their downfall, y'all. And I don't understand how they don't see that. Like penny pinching. We got some more, like something coming up later in the video of just greediness, y'all. Greediness.
Bro, what are you doing? Bro, what the fuck is he doing? Jesus Christ. Bro's the tunnel system. What the fuck? What the
How much money would they have to pay you to jump in this water and swim under this shark mural that looks like it's in the water as well and go all the way through that tunnel? Keep in mind, 2 people actually ceased living operations going through that tunnel by sharks. You see this 1916 up there? That's when it happened. And this is actually what inspired the Jaws novel that became the films. This is the Mattawan Man-Eater Tunnel. And it was painted on there to commemorate 2 people that unfortunately lost their lives going through that tunnel by sharks in the summer of 1916. But y'all know my account, and I'm just scared of the mural itself. And the fact that you can see the underside of the mural and it looks like a giant shark all put together. Also, that looks like still water. I don't like that at all. The full story of this thing is actually super fascinating, so let me know if you want me to go further into it, and I absolutely will.
So a lot of people seem to think that they are watering down the gas here at the pumps. So we're here at the Shell gas station with an ethanol testing bottle, and we're going to find out for ourselves. If it is...
Okay, let's see, y'all. This is Shell. Shell is nationwide. Murphy's, I don't think is. I've never seen it in Arizona. I only seen it out here in Texas. They're probably out in Texas, New Mexico, I don't know, Oklahoma maybe. But let's see what a nationwide. We saw what a smaller company, they looked honest, right? Let's see what a nationwide chain is. Let's see.
Diluted, that means they're adding more ethanol into it, which can cause engines to misfire, to blow, and would be an example of how you would get less miles on the same full tank of gas. And with the war in Iran and gas prices already through the roof, I'm seeing a ton of people say they're noticing they're getting way less mileage with the same full tank of gas that they've been filling up the same way, the same day of the week for years. We already tested Chevron, S&P, and Arco. Shell was highly requested. Let's find out. So I'm gonna fill this to the blue line with water. Then I'm gonna choose which gas I want. I'm gonna get regular. It's $5.99. Damn. I'm gonna fill this with gasoline to the red line. And shake it for about 45 seconds. Then let it sit for 5 minutes. And it doesn't matter which one of these you choose, all of them should be right about 10% ethanol. Any more than 10% and it's a red flag and likely means it's being diluted. All right, the 5 minutes is up. So this one reads right about 9% ethanol, which is actually better than 10% because the less ethanol, the more potent the gas is. The more ethanol, the more diluted it is. So Shell, you guys passed the test, at least in this location. Let me know where you guys want me to try next.
PE is becoming no longer a thing at many schools. My buddy works in the Bay Area. They're cutting out PE.
Is that a fact? It's fucking insane.
It's 100% a fact. And they're also, the other thing that's going on is, you remember like some kids would bring a doctor's note, but it would be like rare, but they'd like skip. Dude, he says he's a PE teacher. He's like, bro, I'm talking 40% of the class will bring a doctor's note.
That was my favorite part of the day, dude.
So they don't have to participate? They don't have to do the mile. They don't have to do the push-ups. Like, you probably remember
That's
the shit,
fucking
Steiny.
bullshit.
Like, yeah. That's why I'm doing that petition. Bro, the actual thing
looking
that's
forward to
fucking
that
over the
day.
young people right now is they are socially not connected. They're depressed. They're anxious. We think that they need more class time and like more math and science time, but you're not going to get successful mathematicians and scientists if they're depressed and their brains don't work.
I mean, I see it all the time. It is very rare that I see a young one and I'm like, oh, that one can throw a ball, right? He can throw a ball. Like, I remember when we first moved into this house, like the neighbor's football came over and I threw it to him. I can throw a football. I can throw a spiral. And they were just like shocked, the mom and the kid. They were like, dang, like, you know what I mean? Like it's very rare. Like I see kids now and I'm like, damn, they can't even throw a ball. They can't even like run like with good form. Not gonna say proper form because I don't know how to run with proper form, but just look smooth, right? Look smooth. And that's where we're heading. And then seeing this PE, 40% of the kids in every class of PE are signing out with doctor's notes. PE was my favorite class. That was the only damn class I got an A in. PE, they're taking it away, y'all.
What the hell is going on with these celebrities? Now Joe Rogan is saying that he was hunting when Charlie got shot.
That was a lie.
But I know for a fact that he was in studio with Charlie Sheen
Mm-hmm.
recording when they both found out. They found out live. Thank you to one of my friends on here that pointed it out. That is so freaking weird. Why would he lie about that? And that's not something that just slips your mind and you forget about. I know exactly where I was when I found out. I was sleeping in my bed when my husband came screaming, waking me up, saying they shot him. They shot Charlie Kirk.
Hot roof?
I have.
Dude, it's hot.
Straight, girl.
Well, it wasn't that hot. Well, yeah, it was. It was September. September in Utah, actually not that hot.
It sounds hot.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Because this was happening while I was out elk hunting.
What town did it happen in?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It was in Utah, though.
I think it was in southern Utah, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Utah's, Utah's a
Valley.
mountain. It's a mountain town. I mean,
my brother lives in Utah. I like Utah.
Like I said, I was in Utah at the time.
Oh, you
this
were?
happened. Yeah, I was hunting in the mountains.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know nothing. I started getting all these text messages from people wanting me to comment on things. I was like, what are you talking about? I literally didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, like I said, that's a big fat lie, and I'm going to prove it. What is going on with these people?
I guess just little cosmic reminders that not everybody was on my side.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Which is important, too.
Hey, can I hit the bathroom really quickly?
Yeah. We can actually wrap it up. We're getting close.
Okay.
You want to wrap it up?
Can we just touch on a couple things before we do?
Absolutely.
Is that
Let's take
cool?
a leak and we'll come back.
Okay, cool.
Should we bring this up? I guess we have to. So this just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's fucking awful.
And is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
That's what was just
One of the guys out there just said it was
spoken
confirmed that
in
he's
the
dead.
in the lobby was just
I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that said confirmed.
Whoa.
So,
I mean, maybe he just does 5 podcasts a day that he doesn't realize it. But that, something like that, I'm not going to say I remember where I was at. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a 9/11 thing. But you do know if you were on a hunting trip or doing a podcast. Like that, you do know. I'm not going to say I knew exactly what I was eating. I knew what I was wearing. Like it wasn't that type of thing for me. But, you do know if you were out of town on an elk hunting trip or in your podcast studio. Sound fishy, y'all. That podcast, I didn't watch it, but I saw a lot of clips on it. It's a sad thing to see, y'all. It's a sad thing to see.
true, there is no water.
You guys have been telling me.
And the water is that. Like, move this out of the way. Look how bad the water is. It's crazy. So it's receded to there. There's nothing here. This is the Wally Marina. I have never seen such much
Did you guys see this? The magic pill Ozempic is literally shredding people's bones. It was only a matter of time before we found out all the bad side effects that comes with taking a GLP in your life. This is why I firmly 110% believe that doing it the natural way is by far the best, but this is a little bit misleading. What is happening here is you have a mass amount of people that are taking these GLPs, they're taking Ozempic to lose a bunch of weight, but these are people that were either lazy in their past, or they've never got on a good nutrition plan, or they're not sure exactly what to eat, how much to eat of it, and they take this GLP, and what happens is they have absolutely no appetite. So they're not eating. When they do eat, they get nauseous. They're not getting their micronutrients in. They're not getting their macronutrients in. They lose a bunch of muscle. And a byproduct of that bad nutrition for their body is your bone shredding. But this could easily happen to someone that is not taking Ozempic. For example, let's say I'm on an aggressive cut. I'm not getting my micronutrients in. I'm not getting my protein in. I'm not adequately taking care of my health. I would have these same effects, even though I'm not taking something like Ozempic. But the reason why Ozempic isn't everything that people make it out to be, is it's not this magic fix. It's not going to fix your diet. It's not going to fix your disciplines. And if you don't get on a good structured nutrition routine, you are going to run into so many more problems after losing the weight. And
I mean, no, I thought the clip was over. Sorry about that, y'all. But there's so much people that just, like my lady included, like doesn't know how to read a nutrition label. Like I'll ask her if she's looking at something like, what's the protein or what's the fiber, right? And then I have to explain like, no, the fiber, the net carbs, right? I have to explain these things and, or how to weigh out your food. And, these are things I learned from watching YouTube, right? I learned how to eat clean from watching YouTube. I know it ain't seeming like it now, but we're going to get there. Watch. But I know I've been at 278 all the way down to 195, y'all. I've been up and down for a long time. But, these are things I learned about watching, back in 2008, 2010, 2012, 15, when the fitness YouTube was like on top of its game. But you got to learn how to read those nutrition labels, y'all, because it makes a world of a difference. You think something's healthy and you turn around and you don't got to read the ingredients. You just read that nutrition label and it'll tell you everything you need to know right there.
Situations where I think Ozempic or a GLP or retatrutide or whatever it is that you're taking, it could be a good tool for you, but especially if you are a Christian man in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, you don't need to be taking Ozempic. You don't need to be taking any of these peptides. All you need to do is get on a diet, get on a structured meal routine, get your protein in, get 10,000 steps a day, and stick to it for 4 months, and you will completely transform your life, not just physically, but also spiritually and mentally.
Listen, guys. This is to the American people. When you go get fuel, you need to wear a mask when you go get fuel. I'm not too sure on this. I'm not too sure. But I'm a person to go off data, history. And I think the most scariest thing about this is for the first time ever, we have no data. We have no strategy to study. This is why a lot of content creators who speak on government and political things and issues, this is why a lot of us has been quiet, because we can't identify a strategy. The only thing I can tell you is one of the strategies that always have been consistent is they'll paint a picture of to the right for you to look at and do something to the left. Our history has always taught us this. And they're painting a picture to the right about about this country having nuclear weapons and that they can't have it. But they're making this about oil. Yep. And that don't sit right with me. And then when we go to our gas pumps, when you let the fuel drip out, it's clear. And it looks almost like water. And any person, most people know, if you've even just carried gas has always had a tint. And the thing that comes to my mind is harsh chemicals clean anything, and it basically takes any color out and it becomes clear. I think there's a great chance that we need to be wearing, when you go pump fuel, you need to have a mask on, because I believe there's a chance that we've already been attacked. I think that the American people is at cost right now to some shit we didn't even sign up for. Some shit we didn't even get a text message about. We didn't even ask to go mess with these countries. These motherfuckers just went. And they expected us to roll with it. And now I think that we are being attacked. And I think that the only thing that I can see that has been consistent is follow the small problem. And the small problem sounds like it's oil. And oil is made for everything. It's not just our fuel. It's also in our electricity, which means that it can be in our ventilation systems. I don't know. I'm not trying to make anyone panic and say, hey, just wear a mask everywhere around your house. I'm telling you, I do think and urge everyone, if you go pump gas, to put a mask on. Because I believe that if we are being attacked, like Iran is saying that they're attacking, I don't think it's the obvious. I don't think anything is going to drop from the sky.
No, that's not how they do it.
Our history doesn't show. This is not how they think.
No, exactly.
Like, I'm talking about both sides. Neither one of the governments is making sense here. They're not moving off strategy. listen, when you get these people to talk, they say the least amount that they can, and they never talk about what's the real issue. If they are at fault for the sky being blue, and you finally get them to talk, them motherfuckers is gonna come outside and say, I see the trees, I see a house, I see concrete, there go a squirrel. Yes, but the sky though, the sky, motherfucker, the sky. Talk about the sky. Oh, I see a rabbit, and that's it. Well, you didn't say nothing about the sky. They were not talking. I'm telling you, this is how they move. This is how they fucking move. And so the more you hear a motherfucker talk, that's when they're losing. And our president just can't shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Wear mask at the gas pump.
Well, George. I mean, he does talk a lot, y'all, and that's usually a sign of defeat, right? You don't got to talk about it to be about it. But we didn't sign up for this. We didn't sign up for this. And we're so divided on it because that's what they do. I mean, I think the people on the right that support, that are, Republican type people, they don't want this either. But we're still divided. We're still divided. And we should really be marching down Washington, D.C. We really should, y'all, because he's talking about daycares and Medicaid, all these things now, cutting it out for the war. For the war. For a war, y'all. That they didn't do a damn thing to us. They didn't do nothing to us at all. They didn't do nothing to us. They so-called backed Hamas that did that thing in October. They so-called backed them. But we sent them a big check, 2 weeks before that happened? Millions, if not billions of dollars? And said you can't use this, for war. So we'll just put it in the savings. We got $6 billion over here, so we'll use our $6 billion that's in our checking to fund that. But and then we'll put this $6 billion in our checking. You know what I mean? We don't want this. The people don't want this. Like this guy, and I was all for him, y'all. I was all for him. I thought it was going to be great, like it kind of was with prices and all that. But not even prices aside, like this war is nonsense, and the way he talks is just nonsense.
With language. Why? Because language is how they hide things, Larry. Hide what? Reality. Nobody lies anymore. They rename it. Example. It's not spying, it's surveillance. It's not propaganda, it's messaging. It's not censorship, it's moderation. That concerns you? No, what concerns me is people believe it.
There was a user trying to control his robot vacuum with the PS5 controller. He accidentally exposed a huge security flaw, gaining access to nearly 7,000 other vacuums. Those vacuums had live cameras, mic feeds, and floor plans. Also, what's funny is when he connected his, he was also simultaneously moving all 7,000 of those at the same time. He claims he wasn't trying to hack every robot vacuum in the world. He just wanted to remote control his brand new Romo vacuum with a PS5 gamepad because it sounded fun. He could remotely control them and look and listen through their live camera feeds. He said he tested that out with a friend. He could watch them map out each room of a house, generating a complete 2D floor plan. And then he could use any robot IP address to find its rough location. And you might think that vacuum on the ground's moving around because it's about to hit a wall, or that's just how it's algorithmically supposed to move. But what it's saying here is someone could take control of that thing and move it to wherever it wants. And it has a camera and a mic in it. He showed his level of access in a live demo. Tens, hundreds, thousands of robots reporting for duty. Each phoning home, data packets every 3 seconds to say their serial number, which rooms they're cleaning, what they've seen, and how far they've traveled. With nothing more than 14-digit number, the hacker could not only pull up any robot, he could correctly see if it's cleaning a living room or what the battery life was. And within minutes, he made the robot generate and transmit an accurate floor plan of his friend's house with the correct shape and size of each room just by typing in some digits into a laptop. Separately, he pulled up his own DJI Romo's live video feed, completely bypassing its security pin, then walked into his living room and waved to the camera.
They want you to sell your soul, right? We know that. That's their game. I asked what the documentary was going to be about, and I looked up the European film company, and they were advertising that they had worked with Tom Hanks. And I had already been down all the rabbit holes for 19 years. That was the first red flag. Yeah. When I said no, they kept pushing the money, and that's when I knew they're trying to get me to sell my soul. They always use money, and if you take the money, you've contracted with them. That is how they do it.
Listen, all I'm going to say is, when it comes to Hollywood, you don't have to take my word for it. After all, I've never worked in that industry or been a part of it. But when people who have been very much involved in that industry, credible actresses and actors, or people behind the scene are saying the same thing, would it not be best to take a look into it and listen to them? Especially when they're saying very damaging things that will ruin their credibility and all the hard work that they've put in, and yet many people just close their eyes and pretend that this isn't happening.
The theory is so spooky, so creepy. 1954, President Eisenhower met with a delegation of extraterrestrial beings at Muroc Air Force Base. A formal treaty was signed. The aliens promised to not interfere in our affairs, and we agreed to keep their presence a secret. Two different types of aliens that came to meet with Eisenhower. One were what they call the Nordics, tall, pale, beautiful-looking, human-like aliens, long blonde hair. And they offered Eisenhower they would speed up the technology to where there wouldn't be any more diseases, all this different stuff, and like clean energy in exchange for disarming your nuclear warhead. Then after that, these other aliens appeared, and they were the Greys, and they offered just to the United States advancements in technology, weaponry. You'll be the #1 powerhouse in the world. In exchange, you let us experiment on humans. And that's what they ended up agreeing with. But the crazy thing is with Eisenhower,
Sounds about right.
It was actually reported in the newspaper that President Eisenhower died because he was missing for a couple of days. He was actually at this Air Force Base meeting, but the cover story was that he had a chipped tooth and had to get emergency dental work. But there's no records of him going to the dentist or getting this dental work.
So one group of aliens said, we'll give you technology. You got to let us, take away these nukes. We'll give you free energy, cure every disease out there, right? Let me see what the Greys got to offer. War, war, experiment on your people. Okay, that sounds good, right?
Guy for a long time.
Sounds right.
I don't even know which one is the regular one anymore. Even this one is Crest Plus. Plus what? Someone check the math on this one. Plus whitening. We got toothpaste with mouthwash in it. But why would you get whitening when you could get active foam plus
What's a good toothpaste to get? Let me know
Don't
down
talk to me
below.
about all these.
So that's what I get, the whitening
Crest
Pro Health.
Health. You're still doing it at home, but I mean, they got the whole org chart here, and it's clean mint. It protects 100% of the whole mouth. So why do we need something that's more advanced, doesn't even have a flavor, or maybe the flavor is gum protection? Why do they got to point out gum protection if the whole mouth is still being protected? Why would they make the box shinier if it's not better? Whiter teeth in 5 days with Radiant Mint with stain blasting foam? Wait, let's get the black toothpaste with charcoal in it. Wait, this one gives you clean breath. So many times of toothpaste now.
Yeah, I know. It should just be one Crest or Colgate.
This one has stain blasting foam, just so you know.
That's what I'm looking for. I wonder if they're all actually any different at all.
Now, Colgate is asking if you want to remove daily surface stains, or 5 years of stains, or 15 years of deep set stains, or 1 year. What the heck? Optic White Advanced. Optic White Purple. What's better, purple or advanced? 3D white. Wow. And here we have the vertical boxes. For vertical boxes, you got to pay twice as much.
Now, I guess the one to get right, because we've seen a video a while back of how they broke down, you know, how to choose a healthier option, right? Is like, say, Crest got a whole aisle, right? A whole block. And this company over here only has one little slot available to them. That's probably the one you want to go to until they sell their soul and then they get the whole block. But for now, that one company that just has one toothpaste over here, while Crest, Colgate, Aquafresh, they got the whole aisle. This company's got one little slot. That's the one you want to go with.
We have the ultra holographic shiny toothpaste. Daily toothpastes, luminous purple. This flavor is just
ridiculous.
Blast.
It's just money, greed.
For sure. I didn't think Colgate was on the same game. They're just like cavity protection, sparkling white with mint zing. But then I looked up here and they've got the Max Fresh powered by Ultra Freeze, 10 times lasting, cooling, fresh breath. And they got it in blue, green, and purple. The purple is knockout, fights bad breath and food aftertaste with mint fusion with breath strips.
No one has any clue what it is. I'm trying to make sense of it myself.
Nobody wants to touch it.
Is that some sort of, that's not a foam finger that got caught up in the rainstorm, is it? Is that a balloon covered in dish soap? For those of you listening on the radio stream, I'd have to estimate it's about the length of one's leg. It touched down at about the first and second base split, halfway between the bags, and has now taken a course across the infield behind the mound over to third base side foul territory.
See, it's like the people on the field are like the powers that be. They're in the club, right? That's why the people on the outside watching the game are not allowed to get on the field. They're not part of the club. None of them's touching it. Imagine if that went into the fans, grabbing it, you know what I mean? Because it's like the people on the field know what it is. They know don't touch that. Imagine if it went in the fans. First guy that's drunk drinking, he's going to probably drink it and put it all over his freaking face. We're not divided in the club, y'all.
It looks like a giant
nobody's
ice
touching
cube
it.
you might have pulled out of your fridge.
Imagine if it went in the fans. You know damn well they're
Head
grabbing that.
groundskeeper
Look at,
Patrick
they get a
Coakley,
shovel.
otherwise known as
Didn't
Irish,
even touch it.
has come to scoop it up.
Why?
Still have no clue what the unidentified object may be. Is it a big wisp of cotton candy that flew off the roof? Patrick's struggling to contain it. It's trying to float away.
You don't want to touch it. It's going to the
Hey,
fans
dude,
now.
when I did ayahuasca,
Camera
and for
turns
those
off.
who ever do that, if you go do it and there's not someone singing, like it's not the proper way, like there has to be somewhere, someone. Mine, they were Peruvian shamans, and they would go to each individual person and speak straight to your crown chakra, and they would sing these. They would channel whatever your body as energy brought to them, and they would sing. And when they hit a certain note, dude, your body uncontrollably would just start purging. It would just start puking, and I could tell, you know, when Megan and I did it, we were separated, but I could tell when the shaman was singing to her. Like you could, even though you can't see anybody because it's a pitch black room, I could tell whenever it was her song. And you would hear when they hit a frequency, like it would resonate with different people in the room because people would puke at different times.
So it's like a symphony of puking, basically.
Yeah, each person gets their own song
to puke to.
But a frequency would make 3 different people puke at the same time. Like they would hit a certain note, and then all of a sudden everybody would just purge.
And would those people that puked up to the same sound wave, would they like kind of congregate as that level of puker?
Well, you're in your own zone. So no, I don't think after you puked, I don't think anyone in mid trip just got up and was like, went and shook hands like, hey, we both puked at the same. Now go back to your trip. I'm gonna go back, but that was cool that we puked at the same.
Yes, when did you do? Because
Megan knew everyone. The one commonality in that room after everyone would calm down and come down, and you all met at a star deck later. Not everybody. Because we're all strangers, but everybody was like, "Oh, I knew when you were puking." I guess I was the loudest puker.
Yeah.
And also the shaman, the shaman gave me the most dose of anybody. So I was it was 22 people. They of course waited for me last, which was just such a like God-given like test of like your patience and anxiety is so fucked. You need you I'm gonna now make you wait this hour process to get to you just to get your dosage.
You got iced.
I got
They
iced.
iced you.
And when I went up there and I sat, there was a translator for the shamans, and the shaman was, told the lady he has there's something, I forgot what the exact way she said it. It was really haunting, but a giant black shadow, right? Like a dark.
I've heard this before.
And she was like, he needs
the most.
He needs the most.
So okay, so you did this in Peru.
I did that in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica. What do you attribute in terms of change in personality and being an identity from that ceremony? How many times have you done it?
4 times.
Why don't kids care about school? Dude, 20 years ago, if we failed, we would get left behind. And all of our friends would go to the class ahead of us. Today, if these kids fail, nothing happens. They all just continue. So, of course, if you know that it doesn't matter if you fail, then of course you don't.
Is that how it is?
That's why.
Guides from Everest are accused of being scam artists on a massive scale.
They're all
The
greedy,
Kathmandu Post in
everybody.
Nepal reports that some guides allegedly made climbers sick to force helicopter rescues as part of a multi-year insurance fraud that may have stolen nearly $20 million. Police in Nepal tell the newspaper that guides would put baking powder into climbers' food to make them unwell or give them drugs to induce symptoms of altitude sickness. So they thought they were being affected by the altitude. So this would then trigger emergency helicopter rescues. And the insurance payout, guys, would allegedly be split up by the guides, the helicopter company, even the hospitals were getting in on it. Yes. Investigators say that they have evidence of several hundred fake rescues between 2022 and 2025. Last month, authorities charged 32 people, including guides, pilots, and doctors involved.
So many people had to be involved in that, you guys.
Turns out Mount Everest ain't even dangerous. It's just the guides that are making people sick, making them get frostbite. But they do that everywhere, y'all. You think this little, I don't know how, I've never been there, right? But I'm just guessing it's a little hospital, a little town, little, doctors, not much of them, right? I'm just guessing. I don't know. It's probably maybe like out here, there's doctors everywhere. But if they're doing it on that little level, what do you think they're doing at the big level out here? Where they put chemicals in the food to make us sick, to make us addicted, that put us in the hospitals. They give us the medicine that doesn't cure us. It just makes it okay for a little while, for the rest of our lives. And they're over there shocked at that. What do you think they're doing over here to us? You think these little dogs are the only ones doing it? Nah, the big dogs are doing it on a greater level, y'all. It's not just doctors and guides. It's fast food. It's gas stations. It's grocery stores. It's taking PE out of the kids' schools. It's connected everywhere, y'all. It's McDonald's. It's on a whole nother level out here. They don't talk about that.
Pure confusion in their eyes, and even fear.
I'm
And it's
looking
not
at
just
him,
one or two
her,
players.
whatever.
Every single one of them has the exact same reaction. If you look closely, you can feel how hard they are trying to hide it, but they simply can't. It's like there is truly something disturbing standing right in front of them. People in the comments noticed this immediately, and wild theories started spreading.
Guys, it is
Greed, y'all. Greed.
to park here.
Ain't nobody gonna park there.
2 blocks away from the stadium. And in case you thought that was bad.
200 for like they had a special yesterday on the Final Four, how much the ticket prices are on the news. We were watching it because my parents are in town, right? We'll get into that at the end of the video, but like you got to be rich and elite to go to these games now, to these Final Fours. Like I remember back in 2008, my dad took me to the NFC Championship game. We went to the NFC Championship game and the divisional game. We had season tickets, so we got first cracks at these tickets. Now, they weren't nothing compared to that. They weren't now. If the Cardinals went to the NFC Championship game and they hosted it, man, we wouldn't have been able to go. That was back in 2008, 2007. So they just take that away from the everyday fan that is really the real fan. The ones that are over there spending $10,000 on a ticket. They're just there for pictures, social media, and just say they went. They probably didn't even watch a game all season, right? They're not even real fans. So that's what's sad, y'all. Like these people that go to the Super Bowl, they're all celebrities. They're all people that just want to say they went. They didn't even watch. There might be some real fans, but the majority of them, they're not even real fans. They just say, I just want to go to the Super Bowl. I got free tickets probably, right? And they make us pay for them.
Example of something really quick. If I were to stop this car in front of me, it's what, 9:30 in the morning. I bet you can't tell me, or your audience can't tell me what the color of that driver is.
Oh, yeah.
What color is the driver in that car?
You can't tell.
But the world would have you believe that we stop people based on what they look like. If they were committing a traffic violation, they happen to be a black male, Hispanic male, white male, you don't find out until you walk up to the car. And this is daytime. This is broad daylight. The tent's on there, but it's not super dark tent.
She's black.
Yeah, but you never know that. Because when I see it, I don't even know what the color of this driver is. I'm behind the car. You don't go up beside the car and look into the window and say, oh, that's a black driver, let me pull him over. Doesn't happen.
Okay, so you guys have been accused of pulling over more black drivers. Is that why you're saying this?
No, it's just policing in general. Say we target and profile blacks or brown people or Hispanics, or that's not the case. We look for violations of the law. We hear about drive-bys. We don't call them walk-bys. So in order to stop a drive-by, you stop cars because they're carrying guns, they're carrying drugs, they're carrying illegal things. Old-time police work that everyone said was a dirty word back in 2018, 2020. It's about keeping order, keeping law and order.
Yeah, we're literally 48 hours away from pure chaos, right?
Yep.
If you guys all went away,
yep.
You think it's 48 hours or even less?
Less. If we all took off work, it would probably take a social media post to let everybody know that it's all chaos. I've been doing this all my adult life, and times have changed so drastically. And I think a big part of it is social media.
The average age for a gamer in the US is 36. So everybody is just on TikTok and gaming.
Just to keep in mind, those that don't know math, average means there's a lot older people.
Yes.
That tells me either under 18 has basically stopped gaming. The math doesn't make sense. I'm 45. That would insinuate that my peers are gaming.
I know people that are 40 that game every fucking night and hit me up and like, yo, dude, you got to download fucking Arc Raiders.
I don't think I've played a game since I was 19. Madden.
I don't think I played a video game since Super Mario 3. What was that, 96?
Yeah, you're probably 13.
No, I'm 16.
16?
Yeah.
We're talking about like
I don't think I could ever let my kids play video games if the average age is 36 years old.
Hi, everyone. I work at the Blue Lagoon in Iceland, and I don't understand how people keep having to cut off all their hair after getting out of the Blue Lagoon when we tell you guys very, very clearly that it will destroy your hair, and we offer free hair protection. At one point, so many people were having to cut off their hair and were complaining that my job became just standing at the side of the lagoon and shouting out periodically, cover your hair, protect your hair will get messed up if you swim with your hair out. And apparently that still didn't work, so signs were put up everywhere. We had a bunch of like stalls with free hair protectant, hair nets, things like that. Guess it still didn't work because people continue to complain that they go into the Blue Lagoon and then have to leave and cut all their hair off. Also, the same goes for wigs. One woman got super upset because she went in with like this super expensive wig that she just bought. And I mean, there was nothing we could do. We told her, you should have known, do not go into the Blue Lagoon with any sort of hair. It will get messed up because of the nature of the water. Again, there's nothing we could do. We tried our best. If you come to the Blue Lagoon, please do not go in with your hair and expect it to come out fine because it will get destroyed.
All y'all rappers' jewelry fake as hell. Johnny Dang's Houston jewelry store just got raided by federal agents. Allegedly, he has been passing off lab-grown diamonds as real diamonds. It's being said that multiple complaints were filed to authorities over the last few years after Johnny Dang sold multiple customers diamonds for millions of dollars, claiming that they were mined overseas. Authorities notified multiple customers and encouraged them to go get their diamonds professionally tested, whereas they found out that majority of the customers' diamonds were fake. It's being said that Johnny Dang has defrauded customers for over $200 million. Diamond mining has been slowing down over the last 20 years, so they're saying that Johnny Dang could have been defrauding customers for at least the last 10 years. So if you bought a chain, a grill, a ring, whatever the case may be from Johnny Dang, 9 times out of 10 is probably fake.
All right, why are you winking at me? You winked from the side. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We are not on that level, so don't come at me. Do not come at me on that level. We're not on that
Ego,
level.
man.
All right, you want to take him?
The ego on these people. Public servants. The ego on them.
All right.
He didn't even wink.
Why
He
are
just
people winking
gave her a
at
head
me? We're
nod.
not on that level.
It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out. And it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going, I don't know, man. What do you think is going to happen? You think we're going to be okay?
I hope so. Of course. I don't know.
Do you think about it?
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to, supposedly, they're trying to stop the terrorists.
That's crazy, though, if
How
you're
can you
the
say
fucking terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stop them, fucking stand in front of the fucking mirror and start there.
How are tigers smuggled into the United States?
Ooh, so many ways. One of the big ways is actually through shipping cargo. So, we have, I mean, if you drive by any of our major, like, marine ports, like Port of Newark or, you know, across anywhere in the U.S., Miami, California, we get so many shipping containers in, and they're coming from all over the world, and there's no way to inspect all of them. Like, there's just, you could not if you tried to. And the technology is increasing for that. But one of the ways that people do smuggle a lot of wildlife products is through cargo, because it doesn't really get inspected. So you can just put a tiger cub in there and, you know, give it enough kind of food and water to hopefully make it, and then deal with it once it comes in. But people also have just, I think there was, I'm pretty sure I had photos of somebody just shipping a tiger cub in like a cardboard box, just with like holes poked in it, and just putting it in the mail. People have smuggled them in just like pet carriers through, you know, like through like TSA, and just being like, oh, it's my puppy or like my kitty. And it's a tiger cub, because they're really small when they're, you know, itty bitty, tiny babes. But then they, of course, become like 425-pound monsters that you soon have to figure out how to have not kill you. So people do lots of crafty things with like smuggling live animals.
Let them out the door. Let them out the back door.
Birds are a huge one. People love exotic birds. People put them in like toilet paper rolls or like your paper towel cardboard like tubes. They'll shove like songbirds in there and then either put them in their luggage or like put them like wrap them around their bodies and try to go through like airport security, like chirping and being like, no, nobody's, what? That's my phone. Like just like have it on their bodies. People do crazy stuff to try to get animals in and smuggle them into the US. It's and around the world. It's mental to see the number of different ways people have come up with smuggling live animals.
There is no fucking way that y'all just sat here, made this commercial, and said, yes, absolutely, run that shit.
Oh, that is a cheesy little baby. Yummy.
Like, what in the actual fuck? Cheese it, there is no fucking way in hell this is what y'all are doing right now, especially with everything going on.
I know, for real.
What a salty little
Throw it in our
boy.
face.
And what the fuck do you mean cravings can happen anywhere?
So it's a boy?
Want it, need it, cheese it.
No, absolutely not, cheese it. We don't want it or fucking need it. Like, how the fuck could y'all not know that this was wrong? You're referring to babies as Cheez-Its. Did we not read the fucking Epstein files? Like, does no company have quality control, or do y'all just not give a fuck? Because to me, it seems like y'all just don't give a fuck about what is going on. At this point, I'm convinced that everybody is just sitting here playing in our faces and then watching this shit unfold, having a grand old time while we're actually genuinely concerned. I guess I'll put this on my list of the 1,000 other things that I won't buy from here on out.
I mean, they genuinely don't care. You know why? Because the majority of people don't care. The majority of people don't even know what went on over there. Because the majority of people aren't on that algorithm on TikTok. The majority of people are just watching regular news. That's where they get their news from MSN. I don't know, from CNN. They get their news from there and from Fox News. They're not going to tell you these things that were going on over there. So the majority of people don't know. And then when you do tell them, right? It's like that clip we saw a little earlier of college kids that are just so stuck in their ways. Like you can't tell them nothing. You try to tell them this and it goes in one ear and out the other, y'all. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You made this far. You know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, the baby is here. It's Sunday. I feel like I haven't posted a video in forever. I think the last video I recorded was Tuesday or Monday. I banged out some videos for you guys. So it was nice to get back in here and do some videos today on Easter Sunday. I hope everyone out there is having a good day. Spend some time with some family. My parents are here. They're leaving on Tuesday. The baby was healthy. He's good. He's super tiny, y'all. Super. I don't remember my firstborn being this tiny, but maybe it's just, I just forgot. But this boy is like, we have to get him preemie clothes. He doesn't fit in newborn. They're too big. So we have to get him preemie clothes. So, but it's a blessing, y'all. It's a blessing to see my boys, right? I got 2 boys. So, it's just been nice, waking up at night. I'm cherishing it this time because I saw how quick my firstborn, he's already 1 year and 5 months. He's big. He's getting ready to start walking. He's walking a little bit, but he's not fully walking. And quick, y'all. He went from feeding him with the bottle. Now he holds his own bottle. So, this time I'm kind of cherishing waking up, in the middle of the night and feeding them. When the firstborn, I was like, oh, when does this end? This time I'm cherishing it a little more because they grow up quick, y'all. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, y'all. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Everyone have a happy Easter Sunday out there. Spend some time with some family, eat some good food, give thanks. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.